Hello and welcome to the Keto Man's Club podcast.
We're glad you're here, where each week we talk about men's health and lifestyle.
We do so with the foundation of the ketogenic diet and lifestyle.
If you don't know what keto is, stick around and you'll find out.
The podcast will bring you real, honest fun.
Each week we strive to uncover the tips and tricks that you can use in your everyday life to maximize your overall health.
Find the clearest path to becoming the best version of yourself that you were meant to be.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Keto Man's Club podcast. My name is Chris. I'm one of your hosts, and I'm joined, as always, today by Jim and Alberto. How's it going, Jim?
All is good, sir. We're finally into fall, which means cooler temperatures, and those of us in Indiana are appreciating the money savings of no air conditioning and no heat right now, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, we've got the windows open ourselves right now, actually. Keeping a little cooler down here in Texas. Alberto, what's new with you?
Finally eating at a semi-normal caloric level, so that's nice. You know, I'm feeling it. It's feeling good to actually go to bed not hungry.
Yeah.
But I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it seemed to have worked. You know, I pretty much starved my hunger signals back into a semi-normal place, and then just kind of worked my way back up. And right now, I'm at just under 2,400 calories and about 170 grams protein, 170 grams of fat, right around there. And that it seems to be working out well. I'm able to eat. The goal as of right now is to eat like 1,000 calories for breakfast or close to it, and then just eat the rest of it for dinner and just work through lunch like I was doing before. That actually seems to be working really, really well.
Yeah.
But that also gives me a little wiggle room that if I want to grab a bag of pork rinds or something for lunch just to hold me over, a cheesesteak or something, that I got enough wiggle room to pull that off. But the idea now, maintain at this caloric range for a while. I don't know how long, and then just use my pre-workout shake, which is pretty much just a little bit of salt, protein, and MCT. And so I'm not tracking that at all. So basically on my training days, that's what I use. And then I still track to my macros, which means I'm probably about 150 calories over on training days. And then on regular days, I'm at my 2,400 calories. So idea there being I should be at a very, very slight surplus and hopefully gain a little bit of weight and not gain too much fat. And yeah, that's the plan.
Very cool. Very cool. I hear you say it's nice to go to bed not hungry, and I'm going, what have I announced whenever I talk about October? Of course, when this finally comes out, it's going to be mid-October at the latest, and I'll be knee-deep in my carnivore keto cut myself. So we shall see how things go. This should be interesting, to say the least. But I'm looking forward to it. I need to do it. I need to push it. But I'd be lying if I was saying anything other than the fact that I feel like I've been riding the struggle bus lately with staying both on plan and staying in a average caloric rate. There are days whenever I don't want to eat at all, and other days that I eat like crap ton of food. So I'm kind of in a weird spot myself, but I'll get there. I'll hit October 1st and I won't have many options. That's what I'm intentionally painting myself into that corner. So
I think a lot of people are thought that the struggle bus would be like the Polar Express, but it's not.
Nope.
No. But we've all been on it. I'm with you.
Yeah. And between work and just schedules, or the complete lack of schedule, it's been just kind of hard, and I think we all feel it right now. I really do think that that's a pretty universal thing with everything that we've been working on and dealing with on a regular basis. So I'm looking forward to having an element of structure, daily goals and things like that to hit that I just kind of have to. And I told we did create a group chat for those that are joining the Carnivore Keto Cut with us. I need to actually probably I'm torn a little bit on whether I should or shouldn't extend it to the one-on-one group. I think whenever you're just getting started, going into a cut is probably the last thing that you need to do. Because I think whenever you're just getting started, I think it's better to just focus on eat keto, not how much keto. But we'll see. I may extend it to them, but regardless, I've got a group chat with all of us that have wanted to be involved, and I told them flat out, this is my plan. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be posting to my Instagram. I'm going to be posting to my Duckman Keto Facebook page. on a regular basis, daily basis is what I told them. And so that's kind of, I'm setting myself up intentionally to have a pretty high standard of engagement. And I gave them permission to knock me over the head if I start being quiet, because that means that I'm probably not holding to the plan and I need to be reminded, hey, quit it. So that is what it is. So, yeah, what club business do we've got going on?
Well, we got a baby in the family.
Oh, yes, we do.
Just start that with the shout out.
Yeah.
RD, and I know his real name. I just can't call him his real name because I met him as RD. RD Carvel had a little baby.
Yep.
He looks like it's healthy, and he's his so far the lack of sleep hasn't affected him much.
Not yet.
He's still posting jokes, and he's still trying to find decent hospital food.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we'll see where that goes. And likes his, what was this? He hopes in his lifetime he sees this crap purged from hospital menus, and it's a picture of Smart Balance buttery spread, which is 100% vegan and gluten-free, and helps support healthy cholesterol levels.
Yeah, because they know what healthy cholesterol levels are. We really do need to get Dave Feldman on here and dig into all of that. Yeah, that's just one of those things that he's doing great. He said that he's going to be getting meat cookies from McDonald's if he needs them, and doing a little shopping at HEB on one of his other posts. So
he's got another kid, so he knows what he's in for.
Yeah, he
just
does.
in for 100% more of it.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, I'll do my shout out here real quick. I am going to shout out one of our 101 members. He has done a phenomenal job of transforming his life from June. Let's see here. Let me just read it here real quick. This is about Ricky. And I started Lazy Keto in June of 2018, started mostly carnivore and fasting. June 2019, I think, I went from 415 to 188 in 20 months. That's insane. From June 2018 to February 2020, I haven't been below 188, and I generally hover around 200 pounds now. I wouldn't say strict carnivore, but pretty close. I'd say 20 to 60 carbs a week, depending on my alcohol consumption. I have zero time in the gym. I am still shedding excess skin, but the skin is done fantastic, all things considered. Fasting helps with that. I only eat once a day, Monday through Friday, usually, and 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. Friday or Saturday and Sunday. Sometimes I'll eat at 10 a.m. on the weekends, and some days I'll end up eating twice between 12 and 6. I stuff myself on the weekends. I can eat 5 or 6 pounds of meat in a sitting, and I eat another pound in 2 hours. However, my usual is 3 to 4 pounds, and sometimes I'll get full from 2, though not often. Haven't been active in a while. Figured it's time. Have a good week. And he posted some amazing transformation pics. Yes, you can see the loose skin, but from the guys that I know online, that loose skin is a trophy to a degree, because that's just a sign that you've made some amazingly huge changes in your physique and your body shape in probably a very short amount of time, to where the skin hasn't had the chance to rebound. He also has another pic, and this one is the one that is more telling to me. It's him on the couch. In the first picture, you've got the shirt that doesn't fit, the shorts that don't fit, and the baby that barely sits on the knees, let alone on the lap. And then the next picture is him sitting there, probably with the same child, just a year or so older, sitting full on the lap. The shirt fits, the shorts fit, and you can tell that it's just a completely different person. If it wasn't being posted by the same person, and if it didn't have the same background, you'd question if it was photoshopped or something. It's really just that much of a transformation. So good on you, Ricky. We need to move you from the 101 group, because you are definitely not 101. That's for sure. You're a veteran by now. Jim, who's your shout out?
My shout out is to a Canadian member, Shane Simmerd. He lives up in British Columbia. He's a forestry engineer, husband, dad, all the good stuff. And he put not only a couple of really cool photos of some beautiful Canadian scenery, but some awesome looking salmon. And fresh salmon is actually kind of a favorite thing of mine. And when I saw that, I was like, holy cow, this looks legit. And he's, preparing it for the freezer to enjoy it later date and whatnot. But just one of those kind of reminders that, yeah, there's all kinds of great stuff in the meat shop, the butcher shop, what have you. But if you have the opportunity to go out and maybe catch your own thing, and we haven't really talked much. I mean, we've talked about fish on the show, but not so much about fishing. Shane might be your guy to go to. So kudos to him for some awesome catches up in Canada.
Awesome. Our friend Yogi, who's been on the podcast before and who's doing amazing things with trucker style cooking out there right now. He has dropped his new podcast called The Fatty Joe Show. He has released the first 5 episodes yesterday, which is all of his top 5 influencers, including our friend Danny Vega, Ted Naiman, and other big names. He got to sat down with all of them and got to interview with them. And I'm expecting that Jim and Alberto will get their call if they haven't already. But my episode is going to drop with him in early November, so I'm looking forward to that. We spent a good time getting to chat and talk about testosterone replacement and how it plays into health. We did touch on the keto stuff, but that really wasn't our focus, and it was about men's health and optimization. And it was a great chat, and Yogi's great people. So it was really great to get to be able to contribute to what they're doing. But just go out, look up the Fatty Joe Show, and definitely give it a listen, give it a subscribe, because that's another one that you'll learn some things from, and I'm confident you'll also be able to get to just have enjoyable conversations, if nothing else. So, that being said, any other business? I think it's probably safe to say that we're continuing to make final preparations for a shirt drop by the time this shirt or merch drop, actually, more accurately, since we're going to do some different categories this next time. We are working on trying to get that out so that we can get pre-orders in and then get that done and ready for folks for the holiday season if we possibly can. So stay tuned for more information. If you're hearing this when it's airing initially, watch for announcements there in the group. We don't want you to miss it. So that's that. Anything else, Jim? Anything else to mention?
No, I mean, I think, numbers keep growing and everything, especially in the 101 Club, and grateful for everybody that, puts up things on Mondays and sharing their menus, or Transformation Tuesday. I actually didn't put up a Transformation Tuesday official post this week because once I got to the point where I was going to put it up there, like mid-morning, guys were already starting to do the stuff. So it's kind of like, all right, the system runs itself.
Yes, it does. It knows the the guys know the way that it should go. So that's cool. Okay. So, we do have a guest this week. We're excited about this. JJ is one of our members and has, a pretty decent sized following, both on Instagram and on, and on Facebook in general. He's a really, really intelligent but hilarious guy. So, a lot of people see him as the jokester, but I think we're going to find out that there's a little bit of something else beyond the jokester that he's portrayed for a while, and I'm looking forward to getting to dig into some of that. JJ, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. So we always start out just with some really basics. Who are you? Where do you live? You don't have to give a street address, but, region works. And then tell us a little bit about who you were personality wise growing up and that type of thing. We don't have to dig into the health stuff quite yet, but give us a basic intro.
All right. Well, my name is JJ. On the internet, I am known as Freak. I am from Indiana, but I say Chicago because it sounds a little bit less,
Watch it.
hillbilly. I mean,
Dude, you're not even 90 seconds in and you're throwing shade already.
I'm just saying, and I mean, I'm very glad that someone else thinks I'm intelligent because I think I'm a genius, but I'm not just memes and sarcasm. I'm also horribly petty. So there's lots of levels to the just bullheadedness that I have. But I would say that like I said, I'm out here in Indiana. I am a steel mill worker. I am a new student. Well, returning student. I am going for my doctorate in clinical psychology. I forgot if I told you guys that, but yeah, I'm going for broke. Work's paying for it. So I said, you know what? Let's just use all their money.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to be Dr. Freak if possible. And the minute I get that diploma, I'm going to make sure everyone calls me doctor. So I am counting down. I did not realize that there'd be that much homework involved to get this. I really kind of figured they're just going to throw it at me. Like once you're like, okay, you tried, good job. But there's a lot. I mean, a lot of homework and stuff. And I've kind of forgot about how much fun that was on top of shift work, on top of trying to work out, on top of, everything else. But it's good. I'm using my brain for, good stuff now instead of just posting horrible things on the internet. So that's kind of good. I'm sure some people missed it, but at the same time, I'm giving them a little bit of a break.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Your page will come up on my feed, and sometimes I'll be on the phone with the customer when that happens, and I have to work, flip over backwards, trying not to let myself bust out in either a groan or laughing fit because of the audacity of the posts that you were sharing at the time. So
that's a good word.
yeah. Because that's usually what it is. It's usually just so audaciously out there. It's like, I want to laugh, but it feels bad to. So
that's pretty much my shtick. So I know where I'm supposed to be in the world, and audacity, shenanigans, rabble rousing, all that. That's just what I was put on this earth to do. So I will continue to do that.
Very cool. Well,
childhood wise, it had to be a hell of a childhood for me to turn out the way I did. So we won't get into it too much, but I have been in Indiana for forever, and it's not as bad as everyone makes it out to be. But it is Indiana, and I technically do have a cornfield in my backyard. So I'll deal with it. It's okay. It's not that bad. Stop making Indiana out to be like cornfields, even though it's mainly cornfields.
Well, the closer you get to Chicago, the stronger that bias is. So if you're
exactly
right there, then
the way I drive, I can be there in 30 minutes. So that's why I can claim Chicago. I say I can because I know people that live an hour away. They're like, I am from Chicago. It's like, no, you're from Schaumburg. You don't get to say that.
I lived in Schaumburg, just next door to Springwood.
But yeah, I grew up pretty much. I was a fat kid for a while. Then I was a gym bro for a long time. My dad was a gym bro, so I kind of learned. Even back in the day, my dad had the Soloflex and all that. So even when we were kids, we played on the Soloflex. You're not supposed to, but we did it anyways. We would we were throwing weights around. Me and my little brother would beat the hell out of each other with whatever we can find. So I kind of grew up in the gym. Both my parents would go to the gym all the time. We were the kids that would have to be in the little daycare center at the gym. So that's always kind of been in my blood, even when I had, my chunkier days and then even to now. So it's kind of my go-to. That's kind of why it's kind of weird that I've ended up kind of where I am right now, where I'm not actually in the gym. I'm in my backyard, which again, it's still a little new for me, but I think we're kind of getting used to a lot of this not new normal, but I mean, it kind of is pretty much
just new. Yeah, it's all just new, and that totally. You're rocking it out. You're definitely one of those that I'm thankful that you post those workouts and that you share those videos and all of that, because it really really is one of those things that I see those posts and I see the consistency and I go, dang, I really should be doing something.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, even for the people that don't comment on them, like you see the consistency day after day after day after day, and then, it gets noticed. You might not think it does, but people notice things like that.
I mean, it's really weird because I really did. I post my workouts. I mean, it's very obvious I'm a narcissist, but I post the workouts really for me because it started off as, I do not want to see myself working out. I make the ugliest faces. I'm probably not doing it right. I'm probably just looking like a fool, but at least my shoes are cute. But I'm still going to post it anyways, to the point where like my first couple of videos, I'm pretty sure I think I actually DM Chris saying like, I just posted this video. I'm freaking out. I look like, yes. I don't understand. Like, yeah. Mm-hmm. And I mean, but then if you remember, then the next day I posted the next one. Mm-hmm. In a better outfit, and I was like, okay, I like this one. So it really is. It is 100%. It's 100% the outfit. Like everything's got to match up, and then I feel better. Mm-hmm. But I really do like. If you were to tell me a year ago that I would be outside, first off, I don't do outside. I enjoy air conditioning. I have the worst lungs in the world. I have hay fever. I don't like bugs. Which today I literally had to fight with like 2 wasps as I'm just trying to get this damn set out, and I was already dying, but I mean, they just would not leave me alone. And I'm like, I thought we had an understanding. I'm outside now. Like, yeah, I'm in your house, but it's my backyard. Like, you're not paying the mortgage here. I am. So like, we have to figure something out here. But yeah, if you were to tell me a year ago, I'd be posting workouts like every time I do them, I'd be like, sure. Okay, must be some other guy. Couldn't be me. I can't be one of those douchebags that, oh, look at me, I work out. Look at me in my backyard, and here I am.
Yep,
that's good, man. That's good.
Yeah, cool.
So, what are your numbers? Like, what's your height? What's your weight currently? You talked about being a bigger guy at one point, then being a gym bro and whatnot. So, give us a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. I'm comfortable with that. As long as we don't cover age, that's fine. I'll go over how big I was, but we're not going there. My highest weight that I ever was, and I did not realize this was going to be a little difficult to say, but I don't think I've actually said it out loud, but my highest weight was 330 pounds. So I'm 6'1", and it was very much like, it was just one of those things where I really, even now, so right now, the last time I got on the scale was September 1st, and that was like 220 pounds. I'm pretty sure I'm only weighing myself once a month now. I'm almost positive I'll be at 215. I'll put out in the universe, I'll be 215. So I hit my 100 mark. That's pretty much what I wanted to get to. So now I'm kind of in that spot where I don't know if I want every other day I want to cut, then I want to bulk up, then I can't decide right now. But it's been pretty much, I want to say, a little bit over 2 years now that I have been keto carnivore, fasting and all that stuff, all the good stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much, and I would really say the last year was kind of rough because I had injuries and I had all this other stuff going on. So most of my weight came off on that first year, but this last one, when I found the Mace training and all that, is when that was my little like aha moment where everything, all the puzzle pieces went together and the last of it came off. And then I didn't weigh myself all summer, and I ended up losing, like, I think I accidentally got on the doctor's scale, and I was like, all right, don't tell me, but just, give me a little wink, like if it's okay. And he's just like, you lost 36 pounds. I'm like, I would fire you right now because I just said, don't tell me. But and this is a new doctor, and he was just like, so all you eat is meat? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, and you go some days without eating? And I'm like, yeah. And he gave me that look like, oh, okay. And I was like, okay, you'll see.
Yeah, that would be a conversation that not a lot of doctors see every day, whether they approve or not. They're probably going, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're kind of weird. But,
yeah,
with a tag of freak that's kind of, to be expected. So so let's talk about the origin of all of that a little bit. Like you got up to that high weight, and what was it that was your enough is enough, I've got to do something moment?
Well, I had so many health issues going on. Like I had 3 herniated discs on my back from lifting up a garage door that the spring broke, and I didn't realize that the spring was broke. So I was like, look at me, I go to the gym, I can lift this up easy. And then there went that, and I've had an old man back since then. And the heavier I got, I don't know why, like I couldn't put 2 and 2 together, but it was like, maybe carrying around an extra 100 so pounds is making your back worse. So my back I would injure my back every time. Like I would still go to the gym. I mean, I was 330 pounds still going to the gym, but I wasn't figuring out why. And I had really bad inflammation. I was having wrist issues. I still kind of have wrist issues, but I would have to get like injections in my wrists. Like I was having neck injuries. Like I just kept on getting hurt from the gym pretty much. But I couldn't figure out this inflammation thing. And I have a nutrition background. Originally I was going to school to become an exercise physiologist and nutrition, all that. So I'm like a nutrition nerd. So I found this book called Deep Nutrition by Dr. Catherine Shanahan. It's very much like the ancestral health, bone broth, no vegetable oils, no processed oils, eat liver and meat and all that. And something just kind of told me, all right, read this one. And I read it cover to cover. And audiobook, I cheated, but I don't have an attention span, so it works. So I read that book, and the next day I just said, I'm good. Like I can do this. I can just eat meat. I can just eat bone broth. I can stick to cut out sugar, cut out wheat, cut out, all this stuff. And I want to say the first month or so, I started feeling like it didn't hurt anymore. Like my wrists weren't hurting. My back wasn't as bad. And I got on the scale and I'm like, oh, you lost like 30 pounds. Like that's big. Like, cause I would always, my weight, once I got to, I want to say for a good 10 years, my weight would just go up and down and up and down. And I can honestly say this is the first time I actually just went all the way down, and I'm able to maintain it. And I'm pretty confident that I don't think I'm going anywhere. I think if anything, I'll be getting better. So that's pretty much, but since that day, I've always been like, you'd have to like put a knife to my throat to have me eat any kind of like vegetable oil. There's so many things that I can tell. Like when I do have carbs, I can feel it immediately in my wrists. I can feel my knees start to everything starts to get achy again. It's just, the keto diet works for some people, but it really works for some people. And I guess I'm just a caveman. I can just eat meat and literally just eat like chicken skin and all that good stuff, pork rinds, you name it. And I'm good to go. Like I used to think I was lactose intolerant. Like I eat so much cheese, it's not even funny now. So it really was just that, like ice cream, like sugar with the lactose is what I can't have. But normal, everything else I can have. But it was all just came down to sugar doesn't work for me. Processed oils don't work for me. Carbohydrates just don't work for me.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. Like I quite literally, as far as the lactose thing and the cheese and everything else, like it is for a long time, and cheese would just destroy me. And I think it was the exact same thing you're saying. It was just a combination of the cheese and the sugar and the grains. Because even now, Noah's a year and a half old, so he's been on whole milk for a while. So like every once in a while, I'm like gonna test these waters, and I'll just take the tiniest sip of like whole milk and just kind of do nothing for like 30 minutes to kind of see what's gonna happen. And like, I don't think I've ever drank it enough to see if I'm gonna get any kind of a reaction to it. And I don't think I ever will. But I can recall a time where that little tiny sip right there would have probably been a death sentence for me.
That would
that's
kill
completely
me.
changed now.
Yep.
So let's. So you got on the keto train. You found that it worked for you. You're not going back. You're full on carnivore at this point. What did you find surprising early on?
Well, like I said, it really was like, it sounds douchey to say, oh, like I'm on keto just for the health benefits. I'm not doing it to lose weight, but really that is kind of how I started off. But so as soon as my injuries weren't I wasn't getting flare ups or anything from my back. So I had so much energy, and I'm just like, this is nuts. Like, because when I would eat carbs before, I mean, I would be that guy where I would just fall out on the couch, like just be snoring. And now, I mean, it's very much, I'm wide awake and I have so much energy. And the more weight I took off, just the more energy I got. And that's why I think towards the end, like when I was real close to being done, that's when I found the Mace training, and that's when I found like just the energy to do it. And now I just get so full of energy that I don't believe it, because I was very much, even now, I have to be careful how much caffeine I drink, because I just don't need it anymore. Like, and it sounds like a real, like, cheesy, like, I'm on this diet and I don't need this anymore. It's like, but I kind of don't. Like, I have to, now it's to the point where if I have too much caffeine, I'm sitting here like, all right, I'm going to go post dumb things on Facebook for 2 hours straight. Like, no one needs that. So, like, I just the amount of energy I have, and just having the no injuries and just having the energy is enough on top of that. But just kind of to know that this is what I'm supposed to do. Like, I am going to be one of those guys that has to be keto for life. And it's one of those, I want to. I don't. If you give me carbs, like, I mean, I have to even say, even today, I was in the grocery store and they had these cookies I used to love. And I'm like, I want that right now. And I'm like, but I'm not, because there's no point. Like, yeah, I'm already made it to my goal weight and where I want to stay, but I know I'm going to feel like crap the next day. So it's like, can I cuss? Am I allowed to cuss?
we try to keep it to a minimum.
All right. I want to check, because usually, I mean, I am cussing up a storm. So just know the amount of work it's just to keep my mouth angelic right now.
All good.
Is that, yeah. Okay. But
you're doing great.
But yeah,
doing great.
but yeah, today was just, I mean, I'm kind of at that point where I could just, if I want to eat carbs, I can, but it's just, I don't want to. I got stuff to do. I have homework to do. Like, I can't even imagine homework on carbs. Like, I would just, I mean, reading words makes me sleepy anyways. So just to know to do homework on carbs just sounds like a nightmare.
So you mentioned something, and I want to get into it at some point, and maybe now's not the right time. But the Mace, not the spray stuff that women carry in their purses and spray into the bad guy's eyes or anything. But this Mace is a pretty remarkable thing. So I kind of want to get the full story here of where you got it, why you were interested in it, how many times you've thumped your head with it accidentally, kind of the whole story behind this thing.
Okay, well, first off, don't jinx me, because I'm already clumsy as it is. I have not hit myself in the head, but I've hit myself, just my beautiful, beautiful legs are just bruised to shit, because I just said I was going to cut. They are bruised.
You say shiitake mushrooms.
Okay, shiitake mushrooms, even though we don't have to eat vegetables anymore. That's another thing too. I am so happy to know I don't have to eat vegetables anymore. I used to have to force myself to eat these smoothies and acai bowls, and I'm spending so much money in nasty vegetables that I know are going to go bad in the fridge. And now to know, like, well, of course, when you tell your mother, oh yeah, I haven't had a vegetable in like 6 months, she looks at you like, my child is going to die. But like, I mean, just to know that, I mean, there's so many things that you grow up thinking you have to eat this, you have to eat that. And it's like, to know, no, I'm actually fine just eating this entire hunk of cheese and, some chicken skin, and I'm good to go. Like, that's just to know that makes you feel great.
It's amazing.
It is. But yeah, so to the Mace thing, Instagram, as usual, gets me. It makes me buy so many things I don't need. That $2,000 skateboard that almost killed me. It made me buy that. But one day I was just looking on there, and I was looking up. I was getting into kettlebell training. I kind of like the whole unconventional, like the kettlebells and all that stuff, and kind of I had to deal with balance issues. So I was looking up, unilateral training, all that. So then I saw somebody swinging this Mace on, and I'm like, you know what? That looks dangerous. I want to try that. So
I love it.
So I kind of looked around, and I'm like, hey, like that. I mean, that does look kind of interesting. And this was like, I want to say September, November. And so I went and looked around online, and I'm like, and I see they've got like 10-pound maces that are, somewhat cheap. But then I looked and I'm like, oh, this one you can fill up with sand and you can make it up to 40 pounds. And of course, I'm a dumb gym bro. So I'm thinking, oh, 10 pounds, what's that? I want one that goes up to 40 pounds. So I go get this gigantic steel mace that is fillable. And her name is Big Bertha. She is huge. I used her today. And she has you have to fill it with sand on the side. And it's got this big like lug nut on the side that I literally scraped the hell out of myself with today. So I'm like, thanks, Big Bertha. I got another scar from you now. So I got that. And then I'm watching these videos online. You can go like the hashtag Steel Mace and you can see a bunch of people working out with it. And I'm like, this is real interesting. And I happened to see this guy that was a trainer named Danny Cola, and he was in Chicago. And I'm like, that's weird that there's so few people in his community, but they have one so near. And just so happened that he was having like a seminar like a month from then. And I'm like, I'm definitely not that guy that goes to like workout seminars. But then something said, maybe you should be for once. So I said, you know what? Just go do it. I don't drive on my own to Chicago because I get lost. So I'm used to my chauffeur taking me. But I said, I'm going out to this. I'm going to do it. I showed up. I was nervous as hell. I was still just like, I showed up and they kind of knew each other. So they had maces out and I'm like, okay, this is a smaller one. I could deal with this. And it was great. Like, I'm very, very thankful that I found him and that I actually went and that I for once didn't listen to what my brain said and I went and did it. And ever since then, I've been obsessed. I made him, me and him started talking and then he said he wanted to be my trainer. And so I hired him we worked with each other for about 3 months. He pretty much taught me everything I know. And then I told him like, I think I can do this. I think I could actually start Mace training. So then I went online and I did my Mace training certification. So now I am officially a Mace trainer. We won't get into why I don't have that certificate yet, because that's a whole podcast in its own, but I am certified. And I even have a client now. I've been working with her for a month now. She comes over every Thursday and I'm like, I warned her, I am brand new. I have never trained anybody. Hopefully, I don't have insurance, so don't get hurt, please. But she loves it. So, I mean, I've just become that guy where I want everyone to do this. I think it's great. So now I have the steel mace. I took a kettlebell course, so I'm certified in that. So I'm all in when it comes to the unconventional training where Indian clubs, that's what my hammers are. They just are in the shape of hammers, but that's pretty much Indian club. I like those. I need to work with those some more. But pretty much just steel mace, kettlebells, and my Indian club hammer things is pretty much all I need. And I mean, I'm in my backyard as much as I can now. And winter's coming. That's going to be real interesting because like I've worked out in the rain. I've worked out in tornadoes. Didn't realize it was a tornado until it was a little too late. But welcome to Deanna. But I mean, I've been out there when it was 100 degrees out. So snow is going to be interesting. I'm going to have to figure something out with that. But I'm very excited to just keep going. And I mean, every day I can feel like even today, I've never used Big Bertha to do some of the exercises I did today. So really every day I'm doing something different. And it was ugly workout. I made some ugly faces, but I still posted it. And this is kind of what I do now. This is my new normal where I have a new outfit, but I'm doing new exercises and I'm making up my own workouts now. And everything's just in my favor right now. So I'm going to keep going with this because this just feels right.
So a mace, for those who aren't quite getting the visual with it, is basically a stick with a bowling ball type round thing on one end, correct?
Yeah. Well, mine is just ridiculous. Like Big Bertha really it's not supposed to be that huge. Like a normal mace is kind of you're more like a softball at the end of a stick. So it's a little bit easier to swing around, move around. It's not as cumbersome as Big Bertha, but Big Bertha gets the job done. Big Bertha is I still use my little 10 pounder. And it's funny because when you tell somebody, oh, it's 10 pounds, they look at you like, oh, it's just 10 pounds. It's like when you're swinging that around and when you have to balance with that and just the amount of like your brain has to stabilize, like you're doing something that seems normal, just like a shoulder press, but you've got 10 pounds on one side and then nothing on the other. So you can feel your whole body kind of like, okay, this is not normal. This is how we shouldn't be doing this. So, and it just feels right. And then you end up kind of like, if you have imbalances, you can feel it kind of fixing that. And it's funny because my client that I'm working with, she's a hairdresser. So she has to have her shoulder up high. That's she calls it her blow drying hand. And when I'm training her, I can actually see one arm is higher than the other. So that makes me see like, okay, so we need to work on that. I want to get that imbalance fixed. So actually she's kind of doing the perfect thing where you're doing something that makes you kind of off center. So it's going to make that muscle kind of correct itself and, you know, how your posture is. So it's getting more popular because even my mom was like, oh yeah, my boss is telling me he was looking at that. And then I told him, oh yeah, my son does that. So it's getting around. I think you're going to see it more. And I mean, I'm certified now. So if I go find like a CrossFit gym, I could be like, hey guys, I can do this. So let's get some Maces in here. I mean, I'm sure someone will jump into it.
Oh, I guarantee 100% they would. I mean, those things have always intrigued me. I just haven't pulled the trigger on one, but your videos have definitely got me thinking about it.
I mean, that's the weird thing too. It's that I'm in my backyard. I was such a gym bro. I still miss it some days, but it really is just insane to know that I haven't been in a gym since pre-COVID. And even before that, I found when I got my Mace in the mail was right before they started shutting cities down, where like when I went to that little seminar, he had to Clorox wipe the Maces just to be safe because that's right when it first started. And now, you know, you can't get any kind of exercise equipment, like good luck. But I happened to get my Mace and my clubs right when it started, and then we couldn't go to the gym anyway. So I'm like, well, you have literally like 2 Maces here and 2 hammers and kettlebells. You might as well do something with them. So just to know that it's been 8 months now since then, and I'm still getting great workouts where like I'm getting looking at myself, I would say I'm putting on more muscle or just, you know, I'm losing more weight, just showing off more. But I could definitely feel like, I mean, just the workouts I'm doing are just using the same equipment that I've had. So, I mean, if someone's working out at home, even if not, I mean, I'd recommend it. And just, it's fun. Like when I'm training her, I have to be like, oh, I forgot I was supposed to be watching you because I'm doing them with her because it's fun for me. Like I like swinging it around.
Oh, that's great, man. That is great. So switching gears a little bit, what does an average day of eating look like for you?
Well, I am very much a faster now. Like I do it without even thinking. I like 1 meal a day. I work shift work, and it's funny. I used to be a real big faster. Like my Instagram name was like Keto Fasting Freak for a while. It changes like every year, it seems like. But I really was. I think the longest fast I ever did was like 120 hours, which is like 5 days. And which wasn't bad at all. But I'm a recovering binge eater. Like that's what got me up to my highest weight was binge eating. So to know that I can go a day without eating, like just blows my mind. And it kind of breaks down all that. Like I'm dismantling all that stuff that my brain was telling me. Like, no, you don't. Like, if you're hungry, you may be hungry because you're pissed off at something you read online or something going on with work. Like, you don't need to run to food for it. So I very much fast. I pretty much eat once a day. I've always been lazy keto. I try and track my calories. It never works. Cause I mean, when I'll grab salami, just a handful of salami, just eat that and just like half rotisserie chicken. Like, I don't want to weigh that. It doesn't work out for me, but I'd say my calories stay right at about 2,000. And then, like I said, when I want to get down more, I'll fast a little bit more. When I work doubles and stuff, I will not eat in that nasty, that lovely steel mill. So, and I mean, if you've ever been to a steel mill, it's known for its cleanliness and just how great it smells. But I will not eat there, and I've never eaten there. I think and I've worked there for way too long, but it helps with the fasting. And if I work a double, like a 16-hour shift, and then I have to go back in 8 hours, I just make that a 24-hour fast because it makes it easier. And then for me, like what took out the most weight was when I did 48-hour fast. So I called it 1 meal every other day. and that was pretty much just, I mean, I would pretty much not eat. I drink tea a lot. Like I'm that douche that drinks tea all day, but I can drink tea and it makes me not hungry. And then the next day I'll eat pretty much that night, and it'll just be, I can live on ribeyes and keto ice cream, and that's still the exact same way I am now, where it's just like my freezer is nothing but keto ice cream and steak, and that's, I could die happy eating that way. But I'll switch it up every once in a while. But for the most part, it's once a day. And then once in a while I try and switch it up as much as I can, but it works for me just to eat once a day pretty much when I get home from work.
No, that's awesome.
So what has family said through all of this? And maybe if you roll it back, what were they saying when you were at your heaviest, and what are they saying now that you've gone off the keto / carnivore deep end?
Okay. Well, when I was bigger, no one said anything to me because most of my family is scared of me, but as they should be. But no one said anything because I didn't even really notice. And I think that's one of the weirdest things, where I just kind of always figured, yeah, my clothes I'll just buy more clothes, I never it's a really weird place to go because I never really noticed I got fat. And it wasn't until I look at pictures and we'll look back and I'm like, that doesn't even look like me. Like I never even really thought about it. Now, of course, through those 10 years where I was at my heaviest, MySpace angles helped a lot. Like I would, of course, pick the one that doesn't show the double chin, but it wasn't like no one said anything to me. I really didn't think anything of it. And it wasn't till I wouldn't even call it denial. I was just kind of doing my thing and didn't really think about it. But then when I started the keto, I started dropping weight real fast. And again, I really didn't. There's even days now where I'm like, oh yeah, like I lost 100 pounds, like kind of forgot about that. And I haven't gotten to the psychology class yet that will help me figure out what exactly that is and why my brain has done that. But I'll let you guys know whenever I do an update. But yeah, it's just when I started losing the weight, everyone was giving me compliments. And even now, like at work, I'm sure everyone that is on my crew hates me because every time I see someone that hasn't seen me in like a year or so, they're all like, you lost so much weight, I don't believe it. And then of course they ask how I do it, and I'm like, I just eat meat all day, and then some days don't eat, and then they look at me like I'm a weirdo more than usual. And it's just, that's just how it is. And again, if you tell family that you just eat meat, they look at you like, all right, sure, JJ. But again, if you guys have seen me and you've seen my personality, they're kind of used to that. So this is just another weird thing I'm doing. But my mom got on keto with me, and she's doing well. And like I told everybody, like, if this works for me, kind of genetically speaking, it's probably going to work for you. So you should give it a shot. So I got my mom on board. She's doing good with it. She loves it. And I've had nothing but just positivity from this. And it's very weird because again, like a year or so ago, 2 years plus, whatever, I never would have thought that I would be here, but I'm really glad that I did. And I really just think that's one thing that my trainer, Danny Cola, would tell me the whole time, like, you are exactly where you need to be. And I really think keto came in my life when it was supposed to. The Mace came in my life when it was supposed to. School came in my life when it was supposed to. So I think I'm just going to ride this and keep going with it.
Tell me about your family. You mentioned that your mom is doing keto. Brothers, sisters, folks, have they had weight issues or anything like that? And
I want to say it's kind of a mixed bag where, like most families were very, when there's get-togethers, it's very food centric. And, when I was bigger, I had a cupcake business. So I was literally like saying, here, have some straight butter and sugar. Like that's how we express love. But like, it's been an issue. My little brother is having issues as well, which he's now kind of, I'm in coach mode. So I've been helping him through it. And he also has a Mace. My mom has a Mace. So I'm very much like, okay, I can help others, so I can help my family too. And pretty much I'm secretly trying to get my little brother to go keto. I know it's just, he's very much in his meal prep. You have to do this. You have to have chicken, broccoli, rice. And I'm like, oh, I did that it wasn't fun. I just please don't do that. Like it's so bad. Just just eat a whole rotisserie chicken. You'll feel so much better. Um, but so I'm slowly planting the seed with him. Like I said, my mom's doing good. My I don't know, my other family, but the rest of my family members, they're very much kind of in the spot of, this is how we are. But they definitely noticed that, a big change in me. I just don't know if they are ready to necessarily jump on it as hard as I did.
Let's talk a little bit about how you found the group, maybe, and what role the group has played for you as you've been going through this health journey and things like that. Because I think you play a role in other people's lives, maybe more than you think you do. But what role has the group played in yours?
Yeah, I mean, it really is. I didn't really think about it till people actually start reaching out to me and telling me that I'm helping them and that just the motivation I'm giving people. And then again, I'm like, me? Like, I'm just like, I was that guy that was like, I need motivation from other people. But when I first, I jumped on the keto train, I went on Instagram and started, I made a keto page and all that. And then I found you guys pretty early, like right when I first started. So then I joined the group and then I'm like, okay, this works out. Like we're all, everyone's, positive. We're all helping each other. And so I started posting and I'm like, I'm actually getting like, positive feedback and, I'm getting lots of support. So then, I just kept coming back. And then even now, like the more weight I lost, I'd make friends. I made friends with all you guys and just, it just became like, it feels like, I know you guys for like 2 years now and it just feels like, this is our support group. And I never would have thought again, that I would be that guy that just, want to, share my workouts and all that. But I'm getting such a positive response from everybody that it just helped. And when I don't post, people are like, you doing all right? We haven't seen you in a while. And it's just like, okay, yeah, sorry. It's just homework. Like, I'll be back. Like, even today, I felt weird. Like, I haven't posted a workout in like 3 days. It doesn't feel right. And it's just, I mean, I never would have thought that I would be one of those people that people look to for motivation and for, support. But there's definitely, I'm right now with everything that's going on in the world, I'm kind of seeing that is kind of the role I'm supposed to be. I am supposed to be one of those people that helps people. And that's kind of why, I switched my major and I jumped to this all at the same time that I'm doing the training. And all at the same time, I'm still working my crazy hours. And I just think this is how it's supposed to be. So I'm very happy where I am. And I'm very happy helping other people and showing people like I'm the last person. Like I had no willpower, no motivation, no energy. I was that guy where if it was fried or it had bacon on it and cheese, then that's my personality. I'm a foodie. I'm just going to use that as an excuse to eat everything in sight and very much learn that, yeah, that wasn't doing me any good. And it was hurting me. So now I'm in a whole different space. And now I'm that douchebag that posts his workouts like every time he works out. Like if I don't post it, did I really work out? Like I'm that guy now.
Yeah. Well, man, one quick thing talking about your workouts, the Mace thing obviously is something big with you and has been successful for you. If somebody's interested in pursuing that, what would you tell them to look for to start with and whatnot? Because like you said, you started off with Big Bertha and everything, but that may not be ideal for the average person. So how does somebody begin working out with a Mace?
Well, you can get them on Amazon pretty much. I know on it, they have theirs, but even now it still befuddles me how hard it is to get any kind of exercise equipment. Like I had to fight just to get my 44-pound kettlebell, and I'm still mad that they lost the other one in the mail. And I'm like, I still want it. I know you didn't lose it. You don't lose a 44-pound kettlebell, but I was on the phone with them for a good hour trying to get that back, and it didn't happen. I just want 2 kettlebells that match. Like, is that so much? Is that so much to ask? Like, because my other kettlebells don't match, and people would make comments on like, I don't like the orange one. Like, I don't either, but this is what I have. So now, and then I got like a 60-pound pancake, which is like a sandbag. So I've been having fun with that. But yeah, I would say Amazon is the best way to go. That's where I keep on, whenever I see them, I'll post it to my story, and they sell out in the next day. So it's like, some of these companies, if you want to sponsor me, I make all your stuff sell out. So I'm just saying, but I would say look on Amazon for steel mace. I would say if you're going to start off with I would say 10 pounders for a guy. And especially if if you just started working, even if you're intermediate, I would say 10 pounder, because I still do workouts with my 10 pounder without even thinking about it, because again, it seems like it's going to be light, but once you start working with it, you'll see it's definitely not. And then I would say on Instagram and then even on Facebook, just look up Steel Mace. And if you look at the Steel Mace hashtag, Steel Mace Flow, you'll see people post their workouts. Out there. I kind of do more of a, you could tell I was a gym bro, where it's an actual workout. There's people that like to flow with it and like make it batani, and I'm like, I'm clumsy. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do deadlifts with it. I'm going to do something that, that's still in my blood, unfortunately, but I mean, it works for me. So I would say Instagram. Instagram really has helped me a lot when it comes to that. And then again, I mean, I made friends with the little Steel Mace Flow people. So it's that's a nice community as well.
Good deal.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay, so we always ask it, and steak cannot be the answer. So what is your favorite keto/carnivore item to eat?
Yeah. I mean, really, a ribeye is all I need to live. But, I'll say pork belly. Pork belly is definitely I can tear that up without even, but then, I'm such a weirdo. I literally have, whenever I get a rotisserie chicken, I save the skin and then I air fry it later and I make little chicken rinds. So I still don't know what to call it. Chicken rinds, chicken skins, I could eat that all day.
Okay. How do you prepare your pork belly?
Well, I've tried it pretty much every way except, I know Berto's going to get mad, I have not smoked it because I still don't have a smoker, but I've grilled it. I usually just air fry it, just because, especially when it's when I get home from work, it's usually 11 o'clock at night if I'm working 3 to 11. So I'll just throw it in there, crisp it up, and I'll usually just put Lori's seasoning salt on it. And then I'll usually just put hot sauce on it, and that is good to go. I'll do it with soy sauce and all that. There's so many different ways to do it, and it's good and it's fatty, and it keeps my coat nice and shiny. So I'm very happy with it.
I love that you threw in the coat nice and shiny thing. Yes, it has lots of collagen in, which is excellent for hair and skin health. So
it is. I'm throwing it out there. Yeah,
there's
I'm
something
keto.
to it.
Yeah, I work out, but if you look at my face, it's beautiful. So my skin, everyone, that's what makes it even funnier, because when people always ask me about my skin, and I'm like, I eat nothing but meat. I drink nothing but bone broth. I eat the fattiest. If I can, I don't think I could eat just plain cold animal fat, but I've gotten pretty close to it. But what it does for your skin, I don't know if I just got lucky, but it's definitely not hurting it. So I'm just saying, if you want to lose weight and if you want to look pretty, eat some chicken skin. Have some
carnivore is the way to go, man.
Belly. Exactly.
Absolutely. High fat carnivore does wonders for the skin. And even with my job in the summer, and probably much like yourself, I just pretty much sweating constantly. So it wouldn't be unusual for me to get, almost little heat rashes and little pimples on the back of my head when I shave my head and stuff. But man, when I took this cut on and eliminated everything but meat, all of that went away, completely gone.
Yeah. And that's the whole thing too. Carnivore is an elimination diet. So when it comes down to it, that's why it worked for so many people. And that's why when people are like, oh, that doesn't work for me, I was like, did you really try? Because even way back when, I don't want to say how far back when, but back when it was just low carb, I tried it. And of course they had low carb bread and low carb ice cream. And that's pretty much, I jumped on all that because, oh, sure, it's low carb, but I'm still eating bread and ice cream. It wasn't until I got down to the nitty gritty where it's no, you have to be carnivore. You have to just eat meat. That's it. Don't try and make it fancy. And that's when I lose. That's when I get the best results, because it's just, you're putting just good stuff in your body that works for us. So, of course it's going to work.
Absolutely. Cool. So where can people connect with you online, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, give all the channels and all that?
Okay. Facebook, my name is just JJ Salas. If you like seeing horrible things on the internet, you can go there. My actual keto workout one is my Instagram, and that is keto.phrique.flow, PHLOW. That's where I post my workouts, my keto stuff I find. There's also horrible stuff on there. Once in a while, I hide it in my stories, for people that are a little squeamish, but there's little gems in there. And then and then my I have Freak Flow, the PHRIQUE PHLOW on Facebook as well, where I post my videos, and that's kind of like I still don't really know if I'm ready to jump in to be like full blown trainer, because I also decided, hey, I'm also going to become a psychologist now. So, I'm glad I have my client. I don't know if I could take on more, with shift work and everything, but I'm just going to go with the flow and see how this works.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. If nothing else, you can be a great source of information, consulting and helping people get things started. So yeah, the really cool stuff for sure to be able to see you as a resource and migrate from the meme sharing, constantly hilarious Clash Clown cut up to an amazing resource and honestly a friend. And I'm thankful for you being available and part of our lives in the group and everything for sure. Okay. Yeah. Very cool. Well, I don't think we have any other business to attend to, right?
I'm good.
Okay. Very cool. Well, at this point, we'll just go ahead and sign off for Jim, Alberto, and myself. Have a great week. And until next week, make sure to eat meat, lift heavy, sleep, and repeat.
Thank you for joining us for the Keto Man's Club podcast. Your support means the world to us. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Would you help us spread the word about the Keto Man's Club by sharing with your friends and family? We're available on all podcast platforms, so just search for Keto Man's Club and you'll find us. If you would like to connect with us, you can do so a number of ways. Our web address leads to our Facebook group, theketomansclub.com. That's TheKetoMansClub.com. You can also follow us on Instagram at Keto Man's Club Podcast. Lastly, if you have any comments or questions, feel free to reach out via email to KetoMansClubPodcast@gmail.com. Thank you again for joining us today, and we look forward to hanging out with you again next week.